What is going on, YouTube? PPS back. It's Past the Prop Monday show. Couple days since we've been on, right? Popped on Friday. Had a nice day over there, but today we're back at it again. Obviously, we'll recap the last show shortly here. But joined as always by my guy Stu for this 8-game NBA slate. How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. I think this is probably our last NBA show before we head into some Super Bowl content for these next couple days. But hey, it's kind of the last couple days that all the attention is on the NBA guys. So we've got a pretty good slate today, a decent amount of close games. My Wizards are playing, so hopefully we don't make it 3 back-to-back historic losses in a row. That would definitely hurt my heart. But other than that, been going pretty well. Excited to keep it going today.
Yeah, no, I'm still pissed at the Wizards from Friday because they decided to only let Dame score 27, and then Anthony Simons decides to drop 35 on their head. So we picked the wrong guard in that game. That was really unfortunate because we knew something like that was going to happen. But, I mean, there's only 2 options, and we got the wrong one on that game.
Yeah, and I mean, Dame was going good for a while, too. It's just in that third quarter, Simons just went absolutely nuclear. Every time he touched the ball, it was going through the net. So, unfortunate. I mean, everyone's beating freaking Edmund Sumner and Cam, Thomas or whatever, combining for like 80 points against us. So, it's a tough time, but we'll dive into that a little bit today.
Sounds good. Let's we got about 10 people in here in the first couple minutes. Appreciate you guys popping in early. Let's go through our recap from the show last time, and then we'll get ready to kind of talk about today's slate. So I kind of alluded to it. Took the L here on Mr. Dame. Obviously not the best performance, but hey, he got his assist line. He was rolling points wise first half. I thought this was going to be an easy cash with just the sheer amount of volume he has, but like I said, Anthony Simons had a day there, so that was felt like the right call. Capella comes through over 12 or over 11 and a half. I think he ended up with 13. Halliburton, I don't know what happened in that game, dude. That was so weird. That he had like 3 points at half. I was so baffled.
Luckily, the one saving grace is that I did post his over 1.5 steals on Twitter, and I made back the money on him with the steals at least. But yeah, he was not looking to shoot in that game.
Yeah, we had our boy D'Angelo Russell, the man of the night, D'Angelo Russell, top DraftKings score of the night. Who would have thought that he would have? But I threw he was in like 6 plays. I had his long shot, obviously. We'll talk about it here. 5 threes, 6 threes. This play and the double-double, all of them. The dude just kept shooting. I loved it because we saw the exact thing we talked about. Edwards getting doubled on a lot of his plays there. And if you double him, at least even last game, D'Angelo Russell dropped like 30 last game again. So he's on one. Might be a spot we got to go to a little bit more here as we close in on the All-Star game. All right. And then Sammy came through. We had the Hornets. First half team total, it was a big number, but he still got that. DeJounte, was this the one he didn't get? And then it was the next game he got it?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think he got this one, but hey, he made up for it. He's big on the Blazers money line, and obviously that ended up coming through. So that was good.
Yeah, and our long shot 23-1 or 73-1. Blazers money line 1. D'Angelo Russell plus 1,000. Hope you guys took these straight. Plus 1,000 came through on rebounds. And then Capella misses by 1 rebound. And the 1 rebound cost us the 7,300.
Yeah, well, shout out to the people that had it on Bet365. I know someone in my Discord did. Blackbeard might be the same guy. Because he was saying they only let him go up to 13 Capella rebounds. So he had a winning ticket that he was sending me right after that game ended. And I was like, come on, man. Couldn't have gotten us 1 more rebound for, us regular FanDuel folks or whatever. But at least we helped, some people, obviously. It was great.
Yeah, no, it was very close for everybody, but obviously we're happy that he got that. I think Ryan is a Bet365 guy. He's the guy who posted the ticket here in the chat. So awesome. Happy that you guys
I'm signing up like this week, by the way. After that, Bet365 just came to Virginia. Like, I'm getting out there. I'm signing up. Okay. I'm not letting this happen again. I'm getting those odds too.
Yeah, no, I only was able to on mine. I only got the double, and obviously I took Blazers money line. Mine didn't even let me go all the way up to 14. I only got the 11.5. So happy that we got that at least there. So Yeah, I was very happy. I mean, I think D'Angelo Russell took like some of these Clinton rebounds because when the hell is he grabbing 10 boards in a game? So, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, it's one of those where you check the game log in the first half and you're like, oh, okay. Not what I was expecting whatsoever, but he was getting there in rebounds and assists. He was making it pretty close. So very glad he
Yeah,
catched
I
that.
kept getting nervous because he had like 8 boards with like 5 or 6 minutes left in the third quarter and just didn't get anything the entire rest of the third. And they have that long rotation where they let him go all the way through, didn't get any through the end of the quarter, and then grabbed 2 in like 4 minutes, which is I was just not expecting to see that number there. I thought it was just going to be assists. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll take it.
And I mean, too, before we move on, who knew on Pass the Prop in this current day and age, right, that you and me would be, kind of medium with the regular bets right now, but we've been locked in with these long shots. They've actually been helping us a very decent amount this season. So very glad it's going that direction. And, if you guys are cashing in, we appreciate that, and let's just keep it going today. Because hey, these questions we get in the comments, they make us think a little harder about stuff, look at angles we didn't look at before. So it's been going good recently. I'm excited to keep it going today.
Yeah, like I said, 8-game slate. We got some pretty big totals here. A lot of injuries to talk about. I guess we can just start out with our favorite game here that we like. Obviously, there's a lot to choose from. There's a few of them that we probably don't even have to really talk about, like the Bulls, Spurs. We have Mavericks with like a G League team playing today.
Party numbers.
Where are we looking, Stu? No Wizards allowed on here.
I'll steal your team. I'll go Bucks Trailblazers. That should be a pretty fun game later tonight. And I don't know if anyone's actually looked at the Bucks Trailblazers lines yet. They're insane. Giannis points is 35. Like, I wanted to kind of have like a Giannis points long shot or something like that, but you can't even do that when his base points are sitting at 35. So a lot of really high numbers. I know Dame is in the high 30s or mid 30s, I guess, once again. So maybe I won't be able to bet as much as I would hopefully like to bet on that game. But overall, I do think that that game is my favorite right there with Blazers Bucks. And I guess PPS isn't here for me to ask his favorite game, so I'll just assume he's going to. Oh, I can't assume you're going to say Wizards Cavs and just go. I'll let you go. I'll let you
go. Bucks. Obviously, I do like that you picked that one. I think it'll be. Honestly, I don't know how it's only a 4-point spread. To be completely honest, I really don't.
Did you see that Giannis though? 35 points. It's just his regular. Like, I wanted to bet it. I was getting ready to bet at 32, maybe even 33, but something about crossing like the 35 mark is pretty insane to me.
34.5 for Lillard, 34.5 for Giannis. That's crazy. I don't know how they're going to stop Giannis. I don't know how they're going to stop any of the bigs. You're really going to have to just rely on Dame shooting, and the Bucks have kind of been doing better at guarding the 3-ball, which is weird. Obviously, the drop coverage will still obviously be in effect with no Bobby yet. So do like that one. Oh, I think I just might have to copy you on this late night hammer, though. I'm going with the Warriors, OKC. That's my favorite game. I'm going to have a lot of plays in that game. I really can't get away from that game with a 3.5-point spread. No Curry. I really hope, and this is just me, I really hope Jordan Poole gets in foul trouble so I can actually enjoy this game because I really don't like watching him play at all, especially when there's no Curry. So hopefully Clay goes in the locker room and says, hey, you're only allowed 10 shots today, buddy. You're not allowed to shoot anymore. We'll let Draymond run the point, and we'll get out of here, right? So hopefully that's what happens. Just put Jordan Poole in the corner so we don't have to see a 9-turnover game and just absolutely ruin everything. So, so that's my thought process on it. I hope Shea just absolutely cooks this dude, which I really hope that the Heat guards him so we can see. Shea was on point for a 50-piece, and he didn't even play the fourth quarter. I'm hoping he puts up a 50-piece on Jordan Poole so they bench his ass.
Yeah, no, we were kind of sharing a little bit before. I know a lot of people are on the Poole turnovers, obviously like that angle, but it's just the Warriors are not as fun to watch. They're not as fun of a basketball team when Jordan Poole is kind of the commander of the ship rather than Steph Curry, right? Because so much goes in to getting Steph Curry the ball with all the off-ball action that they have, right? But instead, we're now going to see Poole kind of take over the ball handling a little bit more. We're going to see some more ISO possessions, some very interesting mid-range shots as well. So it'll be interesting. But like you said, SGA should have his way. And any team with no paint protection, you want to play SGA against. And this definitely fits that mold.
So Sir Roger, he's from like the Milwaukee area here. I liked him at Michigan. I really did. I really kind of liked the way he played. But man, I can't watch him in the NBA. I can't. It's just not fun basketball, dude. He just runs around in a freaking circle. Yeah, I just can't do it. So I hope he gets 20, gets everybody their bankroll builders that I'm sure everybody's gonna have to pool 20 points in against OKC. Oh, yeah. Get your 20, sit down, maybe some foul trouble, get out of here. We'll be good. So everybody can be happy, and hopefully we can see that Draymond triple-double that I'm gonna probably have a bet on just because he's been good to me lately. All right, so let's get this started. Looks like we're gonna be going over 3 games. Obviously, you have the double up in the one game, and then we have 2 in the same, and then obviously my last one here. So I will kick it to you for the long-winded one, the one that's going to take up 2 lines on the screen here. Again, guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and let's roll this thing.
Yeah, I'm going to be doubling up on Donovan Mitchell props tonight against my Wizards. I'll be going over 24.5 points. That one's minus 115 for half a unit. And then I'll also be playing the 5 first quarter points, and I'm combining that with him to get a steal as well. And that one is also minus 115 over on DraftKings. So I'm kind of attacking Donovan Mitchell in 2 separate ways. One, just in the first quarter to get things going, and then one overall. And he's one of those guys I've talked about it multiple times this year. DeRozan was the guy that I constantly have played against the Wizards, and Donovan Mitchell is another guy that I absolutely love to play against the Wizards. And when I read you his game logs over these last couple of seasons, I think you'll understand why. We see 37 points, 32 points, 28 points, 42 points, 42 points, 30 points, and 35 points over his last 7 games against this Washington team. Obviously, the over 30-point performance was earlier this season. These 2 teams have played once already. And the reason I'm such a fan of it is Washington has struggled so much against these number 1 scorers on teams. We've talked about it time and time out. Even in that Dame game where he didn't get to that super high number, he still obviously cashed this one, as well as Simons cashing that one. Then we saw Edmund Sumner and Cam Thomas both cash this number as well. Tons of these guards that can create their own shots. They can score on their own. They don't need somebody to create a shot for them. These guys are the teams that absolutely demolish Washington. The reason, like we said, Washington loves single coverage. No matter how much Anthony Simons is balling out, we're not doubling him. We're still leaving either Denny out on an island, or Delon Wright, or even Monty Morris. Corey Kispert allowed, I believe, 3 for 3 in that third quarter against him. Like, if you're sending Corey Kispert out to Donovan Mitchell for any extended period of time, it's a mess. And it actually happens a decent amount if you watch a lot of Wizards. So I think Mitchell is pretty much the number 1 guy that can take advantage of this. Obviously, points in the paint, too. We saw, like, Watford, or was that his name? Whatever his name. Yeah, him. He scored a bunch in the paint. Just tons of guys have been getting those easy paint points. So I could understand a Jared Allen having a nice game as well. But I think Mitchell is the clear-cut number 1. And then we look at first quarter. He's been great this season. He should give us 10 minutes. Hit this in the last 5 against Washington, including that same game earlier this season where he had 7 first quarter points. And honestly, I was just shocked they gave us this number, because yesterday Embiid's regular first quarter number was 9.5. I went to go bet the alt line thinking I could get it down a couple points, and the alt line started at 11. So they normally don't even let you bet it down. But today, the regular Mitchell line was 6.5, which I was going to bet. But I was very surprised that they let me bring it down to 5. That's 2 baskets for a guy that's going to play 10-plus minutes against a terrible defense. Washington isn't even starting Denny Advia right now, which means they don't even have a guard in that first quarter that'll even be able to stay with him. It's going to be Monty Morris and Corey Kispert, because I don't think Bradley Beal's playing today. And if it is Bradley Beal, congratulations, Donovan Mitchell. You get some Bradley Beal minutes in there as well. Overall, great career history against Washington. Great matchup. Superstars have crushed us. And I can't see a single person that's going to be able to slow him down. So I very much like these 2 combinations. I think Mitchell has a great game tonight.
Yeah, I'll definitely take your word on all these Wizard bets and all the fades of them. So I like it. Who do you think, if Beal's out, do you think there's any value to any of the players on the Wizards? Obviously, that's a pretty big injury. Are you leaning towards more going towards Kristaps with the Kuzma injury as well? I'm pretty sure he's been ruled out already as well. Do you see any of these guys kind of taking a step up, or is this just maybe a Denny? Maybe I was kind of going there thinking he's going to get heavy minutes. Is it more just superstars, or maybe your boy, Delon Wright?
For the first time all season, I think the answer to that question might be Monty Morris. He was actually the most impressive guy to me, kind of providing stabilization for Washington. And I personally don't think Beal's going to play today. I saw some videos of him warming up. He still looked a little bit sluggish. You know, our beat reporters were saying he wasn't looking 100%. And I just don't understand. I know our team's struggling right now, but I don't think he thought a guy like Beal so close to the deadline, to the All-Star break, if he's not 100%. I think he wanted him to be fully healthy. So for me, I think Monty Morris is actually a guy that's going to benefit. And then Corey Kispert's been knocking down those threes as well. But Porzingis, we talk about this all the time. And I think anybody that kind of knows basketball a little, Porzingis, he's not a tough big. He doesn't do well with these guys that can really apply a lot of pressure. And I do think Mobley specifically, and then Allen, when he goes into the paint, are going to be giving him a hard time down there. So Porzingis is already at 25 points. I don't know if you saw, that was his line. It's 24 and a half already. And that's kind of feeling like it's without Beal, if I'm being completely honest. His number's normally 21 or 22. So to see it that high a little bit earlier makes me think he's going to sit. And I think Monty Morris and Corey Kispert will be the two guys I think benefit the most.
Perfect. I'm just looking through the chat. You guys are talking about the hate for Jordan Poole. Love to see that. I really like this. I think this is a great spot. I wonder, what is SGA separately at 30 points? Is he sitting 31?
It might be 32, 33 now. I can give it a
really
quick check right here, but that would not surprise me at all. Let's see. He is at 32 points. Yeah, 32.5. So
okay. So then it's realistic.
Yeah. I think for me, I like to all-line SGA a lot, actually. I think he's one of those guys that he puts you in that 28 to 35 range almost every game, no matter what, due to his usage and the lack of other guys there. So I don't mind bringing down SGA a lot. I think this is a good spot, actually.
And are you a fan of the rebounds for Allen? Or are you thinking that he might actually score? Because we've seen the Wizards struggle on the scoring end too. A lot of other bigs involved. I mean, I like this spot. I just don't know how are the Wizards only a 2-point dog right now? I'm probably just gonna lay a hammer on Cleveland and get out of here.
So I don't bet spreads because
I don't either, but this is fucked.
But that's what I'm saying. When I look at this game and I go, why the fuck is Cleveland only a 2-point favorite against Washington? I have to know that they're going to know that people like me think that, right? Like, I watch the Wizards every day. I can't really give you a good reason why we would win this game. I think this is, without Kuzma and possibly without Beal, I would be taking Cleveland 10 out of 10 times. But hey, the numbers are set where they are for a reason. I think everyone in the chat has felt this before, where they look at a line and they just go, that's not right. And then it ends up being right in the long term. So I agree with you. Cleveland is the spot I would take, but I don't know, man. It's a sketchy line for sure.
Minus 125 on the money line. Scares me. Obviously, guys, know that we don't know trends, know that we don't follow any of these spreads, right? We don't do spreads very often. So there could be a lot of numbers that justify Cleveland being shitty tonight, and we go off of the prop numbers. Obviously, we don't really do spreads that much on the show here. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about those, because I know a lot of you guys maybe do more spreads than we even do, right? We don't really do spreads at all. So I will go to the opposite game there. The game I talked about, that my favorite spot tonight. I'm going to go to Draymond rebound assist. I'm going back to it. Obviously, it took him to get to overtime for me to get there in the first time we bet this one, which was about a week ago. I just really like the rebounds here. I really like him getting the ability, hopefully, to run point in this spot with no Curry there. Obviously, I know Curry does help out Draymond a ton on those pick and pops. But Draymond in his last, looking at his last 4 games without Curry, right, we've had at least 15 rebound assists in 3 of those 4. He had 15 in 1, and then obviously cleared him in the other 2. I love the minutes, right? We're getting a ton of minutes as well. Did you watch the Dallas game with Draymond? Dude hit 3 threes. The man stepped out and hit threes. Shot 7 of them. Like, I was baffled, absolutely baffled. Still ended up with 9 rebounds. 9 assists in that one. He's been on a tear lately. Obviously, he's averaging 17 rebounds, assists in his last 2 to start the month. Obviously, we love to see that. But even if you go back to last month, we've seen him play OKC. He ended up with 9 and 12 there. I really like this spot. I obviously think that the Kayvon Looney news is not very helpful for me here. I don't like that, but I don't see Kayvon being out there very long with how we could be seeing Mike Muscala about 4 minutes into this game, right, where he's just going to go out there and chuck threes. You can't have Kayvon on any sort of athletic big. He is not fast enough. You have obviously some shooters on the outside as well for OKC. I think we're going to see a lot more Draymond minutes, maybe like 8, like maybe like an 8-minute first half stint maybe for Kayvon Looney. I don't see him getting a ton of minutes here because I really don't know who he's going to guard. I really don't know who's going to guard on that end. And he's not really getting too many like blocks or adjusting shots as much as he used to. I just think OKC is very comfortable with staying to the outside here and just staying out of the paint because they really don't have anybody who can go down there and do anything. But the offensive skill set of Looney is not where we need it to be. I think Draymond's going to be, hopefully, like I said, hopefully he'll get some time at the point forward that he likes to do and obviously run the offense there. I think that could be a really big spot. And obviously his rebounding chances are sky high right now. Should be seeing a lot of threes in this game, long rebounds, letting Draymond kind of run that fast break. That's where I see this game kind of playing. Obviously, we see a fat total in this one as well. 234, only a 3-point spread each way. Hopefully we see him in those same last 2 games. He's sitting around 35, 36 minutes. Hopefully we see that again, maybe even a little boost without Curry. Hopefully getting more to that 38. So I really like the spot for Draymond again.
Yeah, and when you think about it logically, right? When let's say Poole comes off the floor, who's going to be the point general? Who's going to be guiding your offense? This team is not a team that just has tons of ball handlers sitting around waiting to, take up the reins. It's pretty much going to be Poole and Draymond kind of controlling the pace of this game from the playmaking perspective. So I do think that's a good look. I think it's one that's being overshadowed. I know Dante DiVincenzo I know he's been making more of an effort to kind of play more of that guard position a little bit more traditionally. That was a big thing in preseason. So he'll step in a little bit. But overall, I think Draymond's going to be seeing a little bit more attention than people may be expecting in this one. You mentioned Looney. Looney's a very solid player. I think gets a lot of hate, but he's not a great, on-paper stats producer. He's more of a block out and let the other guy get the rebound so they can run out in transition. Then I'm going to go fight for this rebound. So I like Looney, very good team player, and I don't think him starting actually affects this much as people may kind of jump to that conclusion.
Yeah, I think that the Curry news helps him, but I think that the Looney one kind of adjusted that line a little bit. So it kind of just evens out, right? This is what his normal line is at. I just can't trust him to shoot the ball. So that's why I can't go to points. All last month, right? That's 15 games. This dude averaged 4.9 shot attempts. And he's playing so many minutes, he is so good at what he does, right? He knows what he's got to do. I can't get myself to bet his points, rebounds, assists because I've just seen it so many times where he has open layups and you just pass it out. And I'm like, yeah, it is so frustrating and having to get one rebound, 1 assist when you could just get 2 on just getting the damn layup. But, I understand he's very, very good at what he does for his team. And I think he has to take a huge step forward tonight in a matchup that's really not scary, right? We look at OKC, man, they're terrible rebounding team. They're second worst rebounding team. Overall, the worst offensive rebounding team allowed. So, that could definitely be a spot to attack there. If you want to think that Looney kind of gets those putback dunks and stuff like that on the offensive glass, it's definitely a look for sure. All right. Oh, we got some questions in here. I'm going to have to scroll up the chat here. So, I'll kick this to you, obviously, as the Wizard guy here. Do you prefer first quarter points or a first quarter spread in that Cavs-Wizards game?
That's interesting. The thing about the Wizards, we've been great in the first quarter, especially Porzingis. If you look at over the last month, Porzingis is one of the highest first quarter scorers, especially on a per minute basis. He's only playing 8 or 9 minutes. He's been crushing out there. So I would have to side with the points. But to be completely honest, 29 points doesn't really line up with the 222 total. That lines up with a little bit of a higher total. So it definitely seems like the Bucks are inflating these numbers a little bit. I think I would probably have to pick the points, though. If we're assuming Washington stays with their high, pace first quarter offense, then we know the Cavs can score as well. But it just depends on how successful Washington is on the offensive side. These two obviously correlate very closely with each other. So I guess I don't know. I don't really like either of them, to be honest. If the points was like 25-26, I would definitely want to hammer that. And Washington's been only good in the first quarter, so I'm not sure how I remedy that, with the full game. I think I'd rather just take Cleveland in the full game because I think they're the better team, but that's just me.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like that. You might be seeing that one later. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't picked my long shot yet. I mean, tough to follow up a plus 1,000. I might just have to keep going higher until I lose one there. So, damn, that's a big difference. 550 plus 550 difference over on FanDuel. Hey, FanDuel might have the idea though, get people off of it because they know something about to happen. Hey, you never know. They're making money for a reason. So obviously that's a good look. Thank you for the number on that. So we have one more play a piece here, and we're going to be in the same game. So obviously we love to see that. If you guys have any more questions, please drop them in the chat. We will get to them. Don't really see any more questions. I kind of talked about the points, rebounds, assists that you guys talked about there. So I am going to send this over to you first, and then I'll get to mine after.
Yep, I'm going to be going Jalen Green over 21.5 points. And I'm putting the number up on the screen, which kind of gives it away. But I'm curious to you or even to anyone's watching right now, if I just told you they're playing the Kings, a high total game, the Kings are on a back-to-back as well, so they may be coming a little bit tired, and Jalen Green's playing without Kevin Porter Jr., what would you expect this number to open up at? I'm just kind of curious. I don't know about
24.5.
Yeah, 23, 24. I think a lot of the people watching right now would kind of have a similar guess. That's where we've seen it most of the times. I believe even we saw a 25.5 earlier this season. So when we look at this matchup, he's hit this in both of his games versus the Kings so far, which is obviously good to see. And I don't know, this just feels like such a small number. He obviously did not. He came back last game. He played against OKC, and they got absolutely destroyed from the beginning seconds, which means guys like Green and guys like Sengun only played a very small amount of minutes, and they didn't matter, right? Those minutes really didn't matter because they were getting destroyed throughout the whole game. Some blowouts happened in the third quarter. This one was the first quarter through the whole game. It was over. So I think that's kind of bringing this number down a little bit. I think that's kind of depreciating the number a little bit simply because we just saw them come in and get blown out. Now they've obviously had the rest. I did see, too, another very crazy stat. The Rockets, without Eric Gordon in games he sits out, they're 3-22 over the last two seasons. That's insane. They've won 3 of 25 games without Eric Gordon. I don't know. That's just absolutely insane to me. So now that he's back in the lineup, we've got some stability. We've got Sengun, we've got Green, we've got Gordon, all these guys playing full minutes. I do think we see a competitive game, and the spread indicates that. It's only 6 points. I think that's very fair with the Kings kind of rest situation coming in. And we've talked about it plenty of times. The Kings are a team that lacks some rim protection. They're just generally a not great defensive team at all. This is two strong offenses going to head, and we see Jalen Green coming in and hitting a point mark that he has consistently hit, including against them earlier this year. He took 21 shots and 25 shots. If I can get a guy at the same amount of points as shots he's actually taking in a full game, then I'm going to take that 10 out of 10 times. So there are tons of guys I liked in this game. You're going to talk about one in a second, but I think Jalen Green is just simply being mispriced right here. Anytime I see a number that I'd have it 2 or 3 points lower than I would expect it, I'm just going to have to take that number.
Yeah, no, and I'll just talk about my part here, and then we'll kind of talk about it as a whole after. And I'm just going to go with nice – easy right away. Sengun, I'm going for a double-double. I like his points, rebounds, assists. I like all of these other lines, but I'm looking at this, and this man has the ability to do this in so many ways that I just can't get away from this number, right? Obviously, without Kevin Porter Jr. so far this season, he's averaging 18, 9, and 6. And obviously that's going to come down a lot after that blowout game you talked about. I think that this would be a minus 130, minus 140 if he ended up getting one in their last game. That game was just such a blowout. There wasn't even a chance for him to even add up numbers. And then we go to his game log against Sacramento. He was on pace, but they got blown out twice, right? So we could not – if Fox – I'm pretty sure Fox is out again. I would have to assume if he didn't play yesterday, he's probably not going to play today. But it's a personal one, so maybe. I hope we get that news. But even if Fox comes back, maybe it gets to like 6, 7 points, right? It's not like the 10-point spread we're seeing in the Chicago Spurs spot, right? But I just like the usage rate that we're seeing from him, even just looking at his rebound opportunities, right? Excuse me. When we have Sengun so far this year, at least in the last he's averaging 16.1 rebound chances per game. That has boosted up without obviously Kevin Porter there. And then when we go over to the assists, he's averaging over 8 potential assists in his last 10 games. And I really like that, obviously, too. But Kevin Porter Jr. is a great rebounding guard. He is fantastic at it for being how small he is, right? He's like 6'5", 6'6", but he's great. Guess what? Jalen Green ain't going down there trying to grab boards, right? I mean, you have all of these guards that want to be outside and shooting. It's going to be him and Kenyon Martin Jr., the two guys that are going down there. Tari Easton's going to foul out in 15 minutes anyway, so we have to worry about him for 15 there. I've watched so many of these games because I've been betting on Kenyon Martin in pretty much every single game now, but now I have to adjust it here. Obviously, Sacramento, third worst in points in the paint. Obviously, you have Sabonis down there, but Sabonis is being smarter with his defense, right? He's giving you a little easier buckets to not foul, and I think that's definitely helped. I think the Kings are like, hey, give up a dunk. We don't care, right? We need you on the floor. You're playing a shit ton of minutes. We need you out there. And we haven't really seen him foul out as much, right? Knock on wood, because I'm sure a lot of people will be betting on him after yesterday's dreadful performance. But I can't get away from Sengun. He's hit this in 5 of his last 7 without Kevin Porter Jr. And I mean, I don't even know if I count that last game. Like, did you see how good Oklahoma City looked in that game? Shai Gilgeous literally was he might have dropped 70. Like there was nobody doing anything. Like they couldn't even stay in front of him. So that last game, I just throw it out. I just throw out last game. And obviously that brings down a lot of his numbers, which I think really, really helps this one and for your line too on Jalen Green.
Yeah, no, I mean, the two guys I was kind of deciding between coming in were Sengun and Green. And I actually played earlier this morning on Prize Picks with my Donovan Mitchell spot. I actually played Sengun fantasy points, which gives you the blocks and steals as well. I know you're a DFS guy. Sengun can definitely kind of contribute in those ways as well. So I love this spot. Like you just said, he can do it in so many different ways, right? I think the assist is a very underrated part of his game. I believe he had 10 assists in one of those 2 games against them early, right? 7 and 10, I believe, were the 2 numbers he put up. And you kind of mentioned potential assists. They may not be as high for a guy like Sengun. And it's the same with Jokic. That's actually because they're creating such high percentage shots, especially when you're kind of running that point forward position from the post. You're creating so many easy layups, easy dimes, where the conversion rate on your assists is actually super high because you're giving your guys layups rather than 3-point shots. So overall, I think this is a great spot. The rebounding should be there with Sabonis in the paint. Obviously, we know Sabonis does not, stray too far from the paint very often. And he does have some competition. You mentioned Martin and Tari Easton are both very good rebounders, but I think he should have more than enough volume. What you said, 18 rebound chances, something like that per game?
I think it was 16 and a half.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's more than enough chances. And with how many extra possessions are created in a high-paced matchup like this, I think there's going to be a ton of winners in this one.
That, and we talk about centers being in the paint. Sabonis, he's one of the lowest guys out on distance from the rim, only 4.2 feet. He's number 1 in rebounding chances. I'm assuming we're going to probably see them two going at each other, which is obviously a fantastic matchup. It almost kind of takes me away from the Sabonis rebounds a little bit there, just because on his side, right, he's going to be in the paint, but Sengun has the ability to kind of run that Jokic point forward spot from or point center from that high post there. I think we could definitely see something like that for some dishes out for some threes. There's going to be so many possessions in this game. It makes it where you don't have to be as efficient to get the job done.
Yeah, I'm curious. You actually brought up a really good point right there. Who do we think then kind of benefits for the rebounding? I think that's actually a very good point. With Sabonis maybe having to travel a little bit farther out, do we think a guy like Keegan Murray could possibly step up in the rebounding role? I know he's not traditionally that guy. I don't know if Jay saw this, but I know their coach just like a week ago told him he needed to be more than just a shooter. He needed to go out there, play better defense, rebound a little better. So the coach's motivation is always nice. I'm too scared to say Harrison Barnes. I don't know if that's what you were thinking, but there's no chance I'm playing that guy. Anyone you think in particular stands out?
I think I would lean Murray just because of the size. I can't trust Harrison Barnes with any of my money ever again.
Yeah.
But he has had 7+ rebounds in 3 of his last 4 games. Keegan Murray, obviously last game, again, these blowouts, they got to happen, right? If they're going to happen, don't look at those game logs. It's so tough because that's what everybody wants to look at, right? Recent performances. And I get it. I understand why that's important. But, dude, like, how do we go off of a game where he plays 20 minutes, right? I just looked at Jay's thing up here. Obviously, that's important. He's having a kid. So, I mean, I don't know. You want to follow Fox on Twitter maybe to find this out? I don't know. It's a late game, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many things up in the air in this game, and that's what we talked about initially at the top of the show. Was there is a lot of news we need yet? There's a ton of news that we need yet. Like starting lineup for Dallas, like who's going to start in that game? Like stuff like that. Like just even who's starting, just so we have a good idea of that. But I know, is Gordon playing or no?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I saw someone did ask about him. And it is important, too, when you look at those 24, 25, 28. Those are games without Jalen Green for the most part, right? So Green just re-entered the starting lineup last game, and that's clearly their highest usage player. So Gordon kind of reverts more to a three-point sharpshooter rather than an overall creator at that point. So I think 14.5 is very possible. I still think that's a solid number, but I would still be focused more on Green and Sengun in those circumstances.
Yeah, and then I looked at it too on their last game where Sengun played, I think, only 28 minutes. But Jabari Smith, I think, had like 21 shot attempts. We saw 21 by Jalen Green in that one. Jabari Smith had like 10 boards. He hasn't done that shit all year. So am I going to go with a guy who's a little bit more proven in Sengun? Yes, I'm going there. I'm going for the consistency that he's shown. And if we get him to like that 40-minute or 35-minute mark, I think he's going to absolutely crush. It's just the Rockets have been involved in so many blowouts, and I'll take the Kings defense to try to keep this one close. Because obviously it's not an ideal defensive situation. So Gordon, James saying he might not play from what I've read. Interesting. Obviously, like I said, we got to look at the injuries and got to know all that beforehand. So, there's a lot of stuff. Obviously, we're doing this at noon my time here. We have about 6 hours before the slate locks up, right? So it's very important to obviously pay attention through. I know both of us are probably have the notification stuff on for Underdog NBA. It's probably my favorite thing to have, at least during the season. They're fantastic for MLB as well. We'll obviously be keeping very close tabs on that information when it comes here. I guess it's long shot time. Let's just do our recap here and then we'll figure out what we're rolling with. We're hot on these. We gotta stay hot.
Yep. I'm starting out. We're going Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points right here for half unit. Oh, you didn't even let me get to my second.
Oh, your second. Oh, I forgot you had a second one.
Whoa. And we're going 5 first quarter points plus a steal. Little same game parlay for half unit on DraftKings as well. And then
I got to go look for my long shot. So that's why I'm looking for it. I had to get it over. I'm like, oh, shit, we went a little too quick.
Yeah, we're going Jalen Green over 21.5 points, minus 115 as well in a high-pace matchup.
Love it. I will be going with my boy Sengun, double-double, minus 105 to go along with Draymond Green, rebounds, assists, over 15.5, minus 120. Stu, I know we both have not talked about this yet on what our long shot is going to be. What are you looking at? What are we rolling with here on today's slate for a long shot spot?
Yeah, I'm still the best one I have right now. I put together a little, it was like plus 760. I put together a little DeMar DeRozan and Donovan Mitchell both to score 30 points at plus, 760. But that's, it's solid. I'm kind of relying on the DeMar narrative. Obviously, returning home gets a very bad defense that he should be able to destroy a little bit. And then I already talked about Mitchell's amazing game log versus Washington earlier in the show. So that's what I got right now. But I think there's going to be plenty of value as this day kind of opens up more. I hate to kind of, tease for like Twitter a little bit later, but there's so much stuff that's still, De'Aaron Fox. I think Bradley Beal will probably sit. And then also, I really want to bet on some Mavs guys. So give me the freaking Mavs lineup. I want to bet on Hardy. I want to bet on Josh Green. I think there'll be some value there as well. But for right now, that's what I've got going.
All right. Well, my my one leg was Draymond double. I was at 230. That game kind of just stopped, just closed. Um, I really, dude, I've been looking because your boy Denny has been on my like. I've been trying to find a way to bet him.
Mhm.
I want his double. They ain't giving me that line.
Yeah.
It's not even out. They're giving me all these
Yeah.
crap dudes. They're giving me a Monty Morris double before they're giving me a Denny double. That's disrespectful.
Well,
So
it's how it's been this whole time. I mean,
it
it's
sucks.
yeah. I think it's because they're waiting for Beal. I don't think we're gonna get any of those Wizards guys until we get some more clarity.
Yeah, and that's the thing though is they have like all these other dudes out. Like
Yeah.
they have Gafford, they have Porzingis, they have Morris lines out, but they
no
don't have.
Kispert either, right? Because I bet Kispert. That's what I like too.
I can't find him on this,
Yeah.
so that's unfortunate because that was very high up on my list for tempting there. Oh wow, they're gonna close Draymond right when I'm right about to do the long shot portion. That's oh god, why are they doing this to me? Oh, frick. All right, let me take a look here because I have so many spots I'm looking at. It's kind of scary.
Well, that's the negative at doing it at this time, right? Is that we obviously love to get this information out as soon as possible, but we still got plenty of lines that we love. We want to talk about. I want to talk about Denny Advia. Okay, you beat me to the punch, but I'd be here all day long. But yeah, it's the unfortunate part of going a little bit early. But hey, we're on Twitter, we're on Discord, Telegram, all that stuff. So we'll be keeping it coming no matter what.
I feel like Sengun's triple double is going to be played by a lot of people. It's at 17-1, set plus 1700. I like that. I do like that, but I wanted to do Draymond, but I guess I'll have to roll with Sengun, even though they fucked me over on the Draymond part. I'll go with him triple double plus 1700. And if you want to pull up what was yours again?
We had Donovan Mitchell and DeMar DeRozan both dropping the 30 at plus 760. And then Sam in the chats too, hitting us with the Sengun, Draymond, and Giannis triple double. I mean, that's definitely
Giannis ain't triple double in tonight, bro.
Yeah,
I am telling you that right now. That boy is gonna go for a 50 piece and not throw past the ball tonight. In a primetime game, oh yeah. I would not be on the assist part.
Sir Rogers backing you up right there. Hasn't exceeded 4 assists in a while.
Don't do it.
Yeah. I think the only thing is I do like Giannis assists more against teams that don't have a traditional big that can guard him because that means more doubles. But Giannis is so good that he can just get to the foul line. He can just score in the paint. So I don't know. At 35 points, anytime a guy's at 35 points, the chance of him getting 10 assists is very, very high. So hopefully you're getting some good odds on that.
Dude, all right. I really want to go on some Dame threes too. All right, I'm gonna switch mine up there. I like the triple double, but I wanted Draymond double in there somewhere. So I'll. There's so many different. I'm gonna put 0.25 units on that one as half my long shot on the Sengun, and then I'm gonna go Lillard 6 threes. I'm going Lillard 6 threes with Draymond double at plus 975.
Well, can I argue with you for a second on why Lillard over Simons right there? I mean, when you look at it on paper, isn't there one very obvious factor that would make you choose Simons? Drew Holiday just being annoying on Dame's face all game.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them start Carter tonight, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see them start both. We haven't played guys with 2 good guards in a very long time like that. I would not be surprised to see him start Carter and maybe move Connaughton to the bench. That's what I would do in this game because you don't see many of these guys that can do what they're able to do. Obviously, I expect Drew on him, but how many of these things? Eubanks is, I'm going to say, probably a little bit more athletic than Brook Lopez. The guy doesn't run like a 6'5", 40, right? So that's what Brook does. He's the slowest dude in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. I've watched way too much of his ass to know that that's the case. But Eubanks is pretty athletic. I've been watching him just block shots like crazy in that Bulls game. He was going everywhere. So if you drop on Dame, that ball's up immediately. That ball is gone. And I think that's going to be the case here. But that's why I'm kind of worried because those minutes that Anthony Simons usually pops off, if they don't start him, Javon's going to be right out there on instead of Drew. So I mean, they're both top 20 on ball defenders. Like it's not that big a difference because usually you get a huge ass drop off. Usually the drop off to the bench guys are crazy, but here it's almost like they're like the same player, but Drew's obviously a much better offensive guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I just think for me personally, because I was looking at them both, it just feels like I'd rather take Simons at the discount. I'm going to rarely disagree with you here and say that Simons, I mean, he's taller. Carter's great too, but I mean, he's a little shorter. Obviously, Carter's 6'1", 6'2", something like that. So overall, I think they're both live, and one of them will hit it. You know what I mean? Like Lillard, one of these guys. It's not Josh Hart. I can tell you that. It's not Josh Hart.
Josh Hart's the GOAT, bro. I don't care what anybody. So many like these guys on the Bulls broadcast when I was watching it on Friday or Saturday. We're talking so much shit on Josh Hart. This boy has been cashing me double tickets like it's nothing, and it's plus 500. The dude is a machine. I love this man, and I hate that DraftKings opened him up at like 250, dude. It sucks for his double because I grab it every game, and it's been so good to me. And then now finally they caught on, so that's unfortunate.
Okay, well, I like what we got. I think we got a lot of interesting stuff today. If people obviously want to get in any last-second questions, make sure to type those in right now. Before we get on out of here, before we close up shop, obviously got a bunch of, 5 props, 3 long shots, tons of great stuff. I was curious. I wonder your take on it before we headed out of here. What do you think about the trade? What do you think about the Kyrie to the Mavs, the Nets possibly moving KD, a lot of crazy stuff?
I don't think KD leaves. I don't think they do that. That's tough. I think that the Nets will still be tough. I obviously don't think they're coming out of the East. Like if you have to play Boston or the Bucks, I'm going to obviously take either one of those teams over them. But I think it was necessary. They were kind of fed up with Kyrie and everything that was happening there, but I don't really have a huge take on it. I'm very curious how the first game's going to go with how ball dominant Luka is. If Luka's going to be playing off ball more than he does, this man's pushing a 40% usage rate. Like that dude is literally the highest usage guy. But then you think about how does this affect Christian Wood? He is now going to probably go from a 25% down to like a 18% usage rate now because it's like you have no reason to give him the ball, right? Unless it's post ups or spot up threes, right? And I mean, they do have kind of a decent team for this where you could just spread the floor and use those two to get pretty much any open shot you want. It's just, it's tough.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is like the Mavs. Who's going to play defense for the Mavs now? I mean, DFS was so integral to that Mavs system of his flexibility as a large wing that can pretty much guard like 2 through 4 and even 5 at times. They have none of that now. It's completely gone. I mean, Kleba is still around. He's injured, I believe, though, and he has been for a little bit now. So getting Kleba back, he's a tough guy. He'll add some toughness to that room, but they got to add someone else. So I told you before the show, I think Christian Wood is probably out of town. There's been talk about him not getting a second contract with Dallas all season long, way before Kyrie was even available. And I think Christian Wood is the only asset that they really have to flip for other players right now. So
I love Christian Wood. I love him. I wish the Bucks never got rid of him. But I was right about to ask you, Terrence, and you came in here and you did it for us. Hey, we were 1 rebound away from a 73-1. They're going to give me almost 81-1 on. I'm round robin these, please, guys. Please don't just throw it only on this. And when we hit 3 out of 4 again, missed by one rebound for Draymond because he's going to have 10 assists, 9 rebounds, like 4 points. So that's really much what's going to happen there. And I don't want you guys to be missing out on that money there. So make sure you guys take them straight too, because this one obviously is like a very, very, very low end one there. So yeah, Terrence, I'm sure he knows these long shots. He knows what's coming on these. So make sure you do those and play them straight too. So it's I don't know how I feel about that trade, but like I said, first game, prime time versus the Clips, it's gonna tell us a lot. I think that's gonna tell us a lot.
Yeah, will he be in for that? I mean, do we know?
Yep, he's coming in for their physical today. And then first opening game is going to be Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that'll be fun. I like any shakeup, right? We bet on this stuff every single day. So anytime we get new situations, I think the Mavs are suddenly going to be a much better team to attack on the defensive side now that they have one of their pieces removed. And I mean, on the other side too, the Nets defense, man. I mean, that's scary. There was so much versatility with Claxton, O'Neal, and now you add in DFS. KD's been a very good defender over these. It's a scary defensive team over there. So that'll be kind of fun to watch as well.
Yeah, and good 3-point shooters. I know you love your Watanabe. You got freaking Dinwiddie, KD, all shooting lights out this year. So we've seen Dinwiddie have pop-off games, right, when we don't have Luka there. So he still has that ability, obviously going back to Brooklyn, but I really like it for the Nets there, obviously getting a lot of picks and stuff there as well. But I think that is all today. So let's put out our long shots here just so you guys can see those. I'm throwing this in there just because Draymond was screwing me over there. DraftKings didn't want me to bet it. So I'll have that. We obviously have our 30-point parlay plus 760 on DeRozan and Donovan Mitchell. And Draymond Green, double-double, along with Damian Lillard, 6 threes. I'm going to have that. And then all of them together just because I want to make sure that you guys see all those, because Terrence always does this for us. We appreciate you, Terrence, for throwing this in there. 81-1 there on this. Oh, man. They just listed Draymond 1,500. Hey, guys, I don't have that big a bankroll to throw 97,000 spots on here. I would if I could. If I had the money to just throw them on here, I would probably have 100 plays tonight because there's so many good spots. But most of them are in the same couple games, right, that we kind of want to exploit. So I think that's it. What do you got for the people, Stu, before we head out?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of transitions right into what you were saying. You know, we can't list 1,000 plays on here, but we obviously have Twitter, we have Discord, Picket, all these different places that we'll be posting our plays throughout the day. So if you have any questions, you can either leave them in the comments or you can send us just DMs. We're available. We're all over the place. We're doing this 24/7, right? So we're ready and locked in to answer those questions and dropping more plays. So a lot of stuff, like we said, injury news we still need to see, but I think this is a pretty good slate. So we got a lot of stuff still left to share. And hey, it's getting serious. It's Super Bowl content week. So we're going to be diving into the NFL. We're going to be giving out some Super Bowl props. I'm not going to be going super crazy. I'm going to be having fun. I think that's the goal here. We've made our money up until this point. The Super Bowl is where the sharpest lines in the world come in. So it's one of those situations where we've got to have some fun, bet some, national anthem props, some Gatorade props, all that kind of stuff. Let's have some fun. I'm pumped for it. Looking forward to the rest of this week.
Yeah, and be okay with betting unders, because Super Bowl unders actually kind of come through for me quite a bit, because obviously everybody wants to bet the overs because everybody doesn't want to say, oh, don't do this when you have a party around you, like 20 people, and you're like, why are you telling this guy to drop the ball? I want to see some action. And I'm like, hey, I don't need him to get a reception. Just drop it. Let somebody else catch the ball. So that's the one thing I'm sure we'll talk about here shortly when we pop back on Wednesday. But yeah, really, really excited for this week. I think we'll have some great content. Hopefully we'll see all you guys over there. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys for tuning in with us today, and hopefully we can crush another NBA slate. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck, and we'll see you Wednesday.